Salutations, wrestling fans. Welcome to the premiere edition of CCW SURGE, our newest show here in Continental Championship Wrestling, bringing you all the news, info, and up-to-date going-ons happening in our organization. And speaking of things that are going on, speaking of things that are happening, you may be well aware that on January 22nd at the Eagle View Academy in Jacksonville, Florida, we are having our first big event of 2022, that being Stampede 31, featuring a 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal, where the winner will face World Heavyweight Champion Darian Drummond in the main event of that show. But also, we have signed two big singles matchups for Stampede 31. The first one being a rematch as the insurmountable serpent, Cobra Singh, goes one-on-one with the Alaskan Titan, Cody Knight. Now, it was at WrestleBash last year that Cody Knight was able to get a victory over Cobra Singh and give the insurmountable serpent his first ever defeat here in CCW. Will lightning strike twice? We don't know. And the other matchup, the new breed, Landon Cruz, looks to get his hands on the turncoat, Chris Turner, for the sin that Chris Turner committed against the new breed, also at WrestleBash, when Chris Turner came out, pile drive Landon Cruz right into the mat and cost Landon Cruz the CCW World Heavyweight Championship. I would not want to be Turncoat Turner stepping into a ring with the new breed. We are seeing an anger, a fire in Landon Cruz's eyes that we have never seen before. Well, speaking of championships, it was last week on our very last edition of Superstars of the Ring that you saw Mike Anthony win the Collect the Bounty Television Championship and become the first ever holder of that title when he pinned the then unpinned Violent Gentleman Miles Blackwell. And it was shortly after that victory, when the crowds had left and a hush had settled over the studio, that I sat down with Mike Anthony to get his thoughts on winning the championship and just... Salutations, wrestling fans. Your ringside pitchman, Donnie Harris Jr. here, and the man to my right, after putting on an unbelievable performance in the TV Collect the Bounty Championship tournament, has arisen as the first ever television Collect the Bounty champion. Of course, I am talking about Mike Anthony. Mike, congratulations once again.
Thank you, Donnie. Thank you. You know, you said something that rings true. The first ever television Collect the Bounty champion. Nobody can ever take that away from me.
No, they cannot.
Nobody can take that away from me. That will never change. I will always be the first champion. But something else rings true that you said. You said that the performance was unbelievable. I've heard that word thrown around about me quite a bit lately. Not necessarily for good things. They say, oh, that Mike Anthony, he's not very believable. He's small and short and not very muscular. And forgive me if I'm getting rattled, but it angers me. And you know what? I proved tonight that I am indeed unbelievable, but not for the same reasons that they claim. I'm unbelievable because of what I do in this ring and the reaction I get from those people and all the people at home.
Yes, and Mike Anthony, once again, congratulations on that. You may have a few naysayers, but their words fall hollow when they go up against that. That is proof of the strong competitor you are. Once again, congratulations. And we look forward to seeing your first title defense of the TV Collect the Bounty Championship.
Thanks, Donnie.
Now, since that interview, the bounty on Mike Anthony's head has been set at $1,000 US cash, ready to be claimed by any man that can pin the unbelievable Mike Anthony 1, 2, 3. No word yet on who may be stepping up to try to collect the bounty. More on that soon. But speaking of titles, speaking of challengers, it is now time for our match of the week as we go back just a few weeks ago when the Machine, Bryce Maddox, defended his title for the very first time against the insurmountable serpent, Cobra Singh.
Introducing first, the challenger, about to make his way to the ring. He is the man known as the insurmountable serpent. This is Cobra Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, once more I present to you the challenger, the insurmountable serpent, Cobra Singh, and his opponent are about to make their way to the ring. The reigning, defending CCW Southern States Champion, this is the Machine, Bryce Maddox. Ladies and gentlemen, once more I present to you the reigning, defending Southern States Champion, the Machine, Bryce Maddox.
What a clash of the titans we have at Stomping Ground Studios over the Southern States Championship as the insurmountable serpent. Cobra Singh goes one-on-one against the champion, the Machine Bryce Maddox, two of the biggest, strongest members of the CCW locker room.
Why don't y'all try something new and call down the hill?
And of course, wherever there's Cobra Singh, there's Chris Turner, always running his mouth now.
A great opportunity here for the Machine Bryce Maddox. He's been champion now for a little over 3 months. Had some surgery, so he hasn't had a chance to defend that title. This being his first title defense. And who else and what an insurmountable opponent he has in the insurmountable serpent, Cobra Singh.
And we see that strength advantage, or maybe not advantage, but we see the strength of Cobra Singh right here in the early moments of this contest, taking out Bryce Maddox. Bryce Maddox showing some agility, flying high, with a beautiful dropkick, takes out Cobra Singh. Could this be it already? No. Cobra Singh able to shake off that early rattle and keep this match alive.
Cobra Singh been absent here in CCW lately, training up in the mountains of Tennessee. And it was that training, it was that dedication that Director of Operations, Steve Dalton, decided to grant him an opportunity against the Southern States champion, Bryce Maddox.
So Bryce Maddox right now controlling the pace of the match with that arm drag, wrenching that arm. Of course, Bryce Maddox, been a Southern State champion for a few months since capturing at WrestleBash 30. This is his first defense, and he's looking good in the early moments.
Yes, and it's as we always say, Jimmy, the Southern States title is that gateway to the World Heavyweight Championship. Hold it for a few months. Get some good title defenses, and you will see yourself challenging for the world title soon. And what better way to start off his title defenses than against Cobra Singh, a man who has only been beaten by one person, that person being the Alaskan Titan, Cody Knight.
Oh, but it is a tough challenge in your first defense, coming off surgery, to go one-on-one against somebody with the size and the strength of Cobra Singh. An unrelenting, vicious animal in that ring. Oh, clubbing forearm to the chest. My God. Another one. That is just a relentless amount of force coming with every strike by Cobra Singh.
And don't forget, Jimmy, even if Bryce can get past Cobra Singh, he still has Miles Blackwell waiting in the ring. You should know you've been right.
Oh, nearly threw him from coast to coast right there, from one side of the ring to the other. The power of Cobra Singh is a sight to behold. But we have to ask how Bryce Maddox kicked out of that, and how will he overcome not having the strength advantage for possibly the first time in his career.
The Machine is very resilient. A former football star, he knows what it takes to be impacted against and get right back up.
And as we see right now, showing that resiliency, looking like he's trying to take Cobra Singh up for some kind of maneuver right here. Brings them up and over with a textbook picture perfect suplex.
It could be all over here, Jimmy.
No, nearly retained.
Chris Turner
Southern
on
States Championship.
Chris Turner on the outside shouting encouragement to Cobra Singh. Cobra Singh being a bit of a pupil or a disciple, or whatever term you want to use, to Chris Turner. And Chris Turner always just spewing that hate into the ears of the insurmountable serpent.
Sending Cobra into the corner of the ring, and we may have felt that ring shift a good 6 inches. Flying through the air.
Getting some air. We ought to start calling him the flying machine, Bryce Maddox.
Chris Turner shouting words of encouragement to his protege, who might not be able to hear him after that DDT. Going for the pin. Could he retain his championship? Cobra Singh able to keep his golden dreams alive. But what a back and forth matchup we've had so far. Big strikes, big power moves between these two behemoths of the squared circle. Oh, nice agility shown by Bryce Maddox. Able to lift and send Cobra Singh into the corner. Repeated shots into the corner. Bryce Maddox, of course, a former 2016 Junior Olympic gold medalist, showing a bit of that strength right now. But what could Chris Turner be doing right now with Cobra Singh?
Just giving some pats of encouragement. Actually, it surprised me that Chris Turner showing restraint, not getting involved
Yes.
on behalf of Cobra Singh.
We have to say not getting involved yet. We know he's waiting for a moment to strike, but if Cobra Singh's continuing to show this type of action, he might not need to get involved. Sending that arm straight into the mat, that has to be super painful on that arm.
Cobra Singh more than capable of winning his own battles, but that added advantage of Chris Turner, just those shouts of disencouragement in the ears of Bryce Maddox, it can unnerve you, Jimmy.
But talking about shouts, you can hear the shouts of pain coming out of the machine. Not used to being manhandled in this way. Usually the bigger, stronger man in the ring. Right now, it is Cobra Singh dictating how this matchup goes as he continues to punish that arm. We hear Chris Turner out here telling him to break it.
The vicious side of Chris Turner edging on the Cobra Singh. There's a reason they call him the insurmountable serpent. Don't do it, Cobra. Don't end a man's career just because Turncoat Turner tells you. Oh!
Yeah, and we see the damage done to that arm, unable to whip Cobra Singh off the ropes and then just gets driven straight down into that with one of those brutal shoulder tackles.
That training up in the mountains of Tennessee paying off. This is bad. If Bryce Maddox cannot win, then it'll be a TKO, and the title will change hands in that case.
But sending Bryce Maddox to the outside of the ring, anything can happen out here on the outside of the ring. You see him flash that smile to his mentor, Chris Turner. Who knows what kind of ugly idea that the insurmountable serpent has out here. Sending Bryce Maddox shoulder first into the ring post, ricocheting off into the wall and the barricade.
Yeah.
So much damage being done right now to the shoulder area of the machine.
And the ref is powerless. His authority extends to the end of the ring. All he can do is make the 10 count. If they don't make it, both men are counted out. But other than that, the ref has no power outside the ring, and Cobra Singh using that to advantage, as you saw, just damaging that left elbow of Bryce Maddox.
And you have to know that is lessons taught to him by Chris Turner, who knows how to use every inch of this ring. Could we have a new Southern States champion? No, Chris Turner getting up in the apron. He thought that was over, but not quite. Bryce Maddox keeping his championship reign alive, at least for the moment.
Well, Cobra Singh has never been what you call a fair competitor. He loves dominating opponents. Oh! Just extra viciousness here.
And since joining up with Turncoat Turner, he is showing some new moves. We haven't seen that out of him, and that could be enough to be champion? No. Bryce Maddox able to somehow kick out, show him some resiliency. I don't know how he's able to continue against somebody as powerful as Cobra Singh.
Chris Turner was there at the steps ready to jump in and celebrate with his protege, but Bryce Maddox, as you said, being able to kick out. But I don't know how much more the machine can do that.
Bryce Maddox reversing it. Bringing that knee left straight to the chest, but that arm is just in too much pain to be able to capitalize too quickly. But that neutralized the momentum that Cobra Singh had.
But this crowd getting behind Bryce Maddox and those cheers, those words of adulation can spur a man on to do things he didn't think he can do. The Bryce Maddox trying to ignore the pain.
Oh, no, it was just a matter of time.
It was just a matter of time, you said, Jimmy. Chris Turner finally didn't do nothing. Are you kidding me?
What the? Oh, what in the world? What in the world? That was Miles Blackwell with the chair. What? No. Miles Black.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner via disqualification, Cobra Singh. However, the title does not change hands in a DQ. Therefore, still, your CCW Southern States Champion, the Machine, Bryce Maddox. Hey, we cheated.
Cobra Singh picking up a massive victory here over the Southern States Champion. This is going to go down the record as a victory for Cobra Singh. Bryce Maddox going to go down as a DQ loss for him, but we all saw that it was Miles Blackwell with those vicious actions. Of course, he's the one who has Bryce Maddox in the eye trying to capture that Southern States Championship.
Miles Blackwell looking on for his own interest because, Jimmy, he could hold 2 belts. He seems to be stalking for the Southern States title, and he could win the Collect the Bounty Championship later on, a double gold champion, if you will. So that is why I think he tried to get the disqualification on Bryce Maddox.
And, of course, Bryce doesn't get the victory, but he retains that Southern States Championship.
Cobra Singh getting the victory over Bryce Maddox via disqualification thanks to an interference by Miles Blackwell. Now, the title does not change hands in a disqualification, so Bryce Maddox was able to leave Stomping Ground Studios with the Southern States Championship still over his shoulder. But that didn't matter to Bryce Maddox. Bryce Maddox has great honor and respect in holding that Southern States title. That's not how he wants to retain. That's not how he wants his reign to be. He wants to take on all challengers and pin them 1, 2, 3. So he was more than a little mad at the actions of Miles Blackwell for tainting his very first title defense. But after he got through in the locker room, after he settled down and leveled his head, Bryce Maddox decided that he was going to right this wrong done to him by Miles Blackwell. So he caught up with one of our cameramen, and this is what the Southern States Champion had to say.
Miles Blackwell, you know, I never really had any issues with you. I tend to keep to myself. But when you put yourself in my business, when you feel like you have to interrupt my match with Cobra for whatever your motive is, then it becomes my business. Now it's personal. If you wanted a title match, Miles, all you had to do was ask. I said from the very beginning that I am a defending champion. So at Stampede on January 22nd, Miles, I will be there to defend my championship. It's an open invitation, brother.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we were rolling that footage, I got a message directly from CCW Commissioner Justin Taylor that he has decided to make it official for Stampede 31. Bryce Maddox will defend the Southern States title against the violent gentleman Miles Blackwell. Of course, that is only one of the many matchups that we have scheduled for Stampede 31. We also have the 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal, Chris Turner taking on the new breed Landon Cruz, and a rematch of 2 of the most powerful forces here in the CCW locker room, the insurmountable serpent, Cobra Singh, going one-on-one once again with the Alaskan Titan, Cody Knight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all that we have time for on our very first edition of CCW Surge. Be sure to check out our Facebook page for even more details on everything that we have going on here in CCW. Be sure to check out our website, ccwrestling.biz, for merchandise, tickets, and well as new episodes of CCW Surge. Don't forget, we will be dropping CCW Surge every single Friday. For everyone here at Stomping Ground Studios and Continental Championship Wrestling, I'm your ringside pitchman, Donnie Harris Jr., and we'll see you next.